The final qualifying session to set the grid for the Spa Enduro for the combined international GTOpen and GT Cup Europe grids is about to get underway. It's the GTOpen lot now, the second drivers of the day who are heading out on track now to determine the grid positions for the 2-hour and 20-minute endurance race. It'll be the averages of the two drivers' lap times that sets the grid. We just had GT Cup Qualy, so that grid is now settled. And thanks to the work of my co-commentator, we've got the average lap times being worked out as well. My name is Chris Stevens, calculator in hand, Chris McCarthy alongside me.
Calculator in hand, saying before my name is something I never thought I'd hear. But there we go. I'm shuffling my papers, just like someone should who's about to work out average lap times.
Like a newsreader at the end of a broadcast.
Yeah. That's exactly it. But I will do my best. But what we can say, what we do know already, is how close was that first session. I mean, less than a second between the top 10. It was so close. But one thing I think was, like you saw if you were watching GT Cup just then, it's track limits, don't go too wide, and get a lap in early, I think, because get a benchmark lap in early, because there was a couple of red flags, and also traffic was a big thing, particularly at the end of the session. So I think there'll be some cars, as we see, quickly trying to get up to speed, get a benchmark in early. 2:17.249 was the quickest time in the first session by the number 27 car.
Yes, the AF Corsa Ferrari of Eddie Cheever, who was...
What a time.
Yes, it was, certainly was, and he was the Pro-Am pole sitter in Portimao last time out as well, so we know that is indeed a very rapid car. But can Marco Pulcini manage to secure them a good grid spot as well? And we were talking about this in Q1, Chris, because it's the average of the times, it does lend a favour to the pro runners, who in theory should be quicker.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a car that just squeezed its way into the top 10. So Maximilian Paul might have a little bit of work to do. It was due to Pierre-Louis Gervais getting a few lap times deleted, and then it was the last run when it was 8 minutes left on the clock. Had to go out and set a time. But I think still well within reach, only 0.8 of a second back from the quickest current time of 2:17. But as Chris said, it's averages, not overall times that count here.
And the Lamborghini's looking a little bit faster here than they did in Portimao. There's been a few changes to the balance of performance, with a bigger restrictor on that Lamborghini helping them in a straight line. And we saw in Q1, they were both inside the top 10, the Oregon cars.
I was going to ask you, Chris, I know you're someone who's a big fan lover of GT racing, hence why you're in the chair this year. But one thing I will say is watching the guys go out, is this a track you think that would suit any car in particular, or is the balance of performance going to level it out slightly?
Well, of course, the whole idea is that these cars should, in theory, be capable of the same lap times as we're on board with the sister Oregon car now, the number 19, that has Pietro Perolini at the wheel now. But yes, to answer your question, I mean, every car has got its own performance attributes, and the Mercedes seems to be very quick in a straight line, and that, of course, is going to be very helpful.
But with this track, it's got so much to it, isn't it, that I think all cars are going to have some sort of benefit somewhere, because the Spa circuit, is renowned for being one of the best in the world, and I think that should really give us a real level playing field here, and I think Q1 was an example of that.
Absolutely, we had quite a good mix of cars right up in there, with the McLarens and the Ferraris right up there, along with the Mercedes as well. So lots to play for, and of course we will see the Seoul Audi as well. Christopher Haas are out in that one as well, so that could well be right up there as well. We had Richard Leeds in the Linesby Porsche in Q1. It's now up to Patrick Cole to take over the wheel of that car. They'll be hoping that this weekend goes a little bit better than last weekend for them. If I remember rightly, they managed 3 laps at the Nürburgring 24-hour, so not a great weekend for them, but hopefully it goes better here.
Fingers crossed. I mean, that's a track that is just hard to get around in one piece, let alone racing for 24 hours. That's a beautiful shot.
What a shot that is. Up the recently reprofiled Eau Rouge. And we said this in Q1, last time we came here, the track was 90% ready, but now it's crisp and finished, and it's got that nice shiny gloss all over it as well.
We were speaking to Paul Jeffrey, who does the TCR stuff, and he was saying he went up to that grandstand. I think he was watching some GTs go around, and he said it is absolutely fantastic. So, do you fancy doing the 2-hour race on your own, and I'll go up to the I'll go up to the grandstand and join you maybe for the last hour?
Might not have any voice left by the end of that one. We just see a glimpse there of the number 8 Il Baron Rampante Lamborghini. Normally is run solely by Giuseppe Cipriani, but because it is the endurance, you have to have a second driver, and they've got Jens Lieberhauser in for this one.
Yeah, well, the cars to keep an eye on then. So we've got the 27 was up there, the 69, the 51 AF Corsa as well, the number 20 Mercedes SPS Automotive with Reece Barr was in the car last time out, the number 32 as well, the Lamborghini Benaldi Motorsport. That was a team that was caught up in that red flag where 3-4 cars oddly just spun in one place at the same time. Bit of contact made, but up because of the spin, but thankfully they got away with it. So those some of the cars to keep an eye on, but like I said, we got the 63, which went well as well, also the 19, who we were on board with. So yeah, let's see how it goes.
Yes, and here is Christopher Haase in the East Talent Racing Audi. Ran a little wide at Rivage there, but he has certainly hit the ground running. He was 3 seconds clear of the rest of the field, but as the rest of the time start to come in, we've got Sam DeHaan in second, but it's the benchmark time
It's beaten
of 2:17.187 set by Christopher Haase there, with David Fuminelli half a second back at the moment. But Haase here, fastest through the first sector. Now, I wonder if that moment at Rivage has cost him any time. We're about to find out as he hits the second split. It's not an improvement, but this lap is not lost just yet.
Yeah, this is already quickest of the day so far. Should we expect it? Possibly. There's more rubber down now, track's a bit warmer, temperatures are coming up. Beautiful day here at Spa, it has been all week, so possibly we should see that.
And also, we have to lend some of the credit to Christopher Haase there. Yeah, an Audi Works driver for over 10 years. He knows what he's doing when he gets behind the wheel of one of these things. And I think there's very little they haven't won together at this point in time. So not an improvement on that lap for them, but still the benchmark time being set by Christopher Haase in the East Talent Racing Audi. And look at this, we have Pro-Am and Am cars, 1, 2, 3 at the moment, as Conrad Grunewald goes third fastest. In fairness to the other Am drivers there, Conrad Grunewald in the 61 is one of those drivers that is in Am by sort of default.
Our Pro-Am driver was given a penalty, i.e. lap time deletion.
Yes.
That was the number 11, wasn't it, of David Fuminelli?
Yes, it was.
So it's dropped back down, now 7.5 seconds off. Here we go, here's the number 20. Oh dear, that's not the racing line.
Yes, kicking up a bit of gravel there at the Jackie X corner there. He was tucked up behind. That's one of the Getspeed Mercedes, is it not?
Here we got on board with Andrew Gilbert coming into that corner, and he saw everything, and then had to drive through the had to drive through the dust that had been kicked up. Okay, Oregon are in the pit lane with Maximilian Bull, and that doesn't look like it's about to drive out any second, does it?
Yeah, it didn't look scheduled, did it? Because he was actually quite far away from his garage.
Yeah.
Wasn't he? That wasn't a traditional sort of park.
And it seemed like he needed some help with the trolleys to get back down to wherever he was. So that's a real shame. Here we see the 911 car of Axel Blond, not improving on this lap, but nevertheless, it was still a decent first sector. But if I was to run you through the whole list of everyone who is, then we would be about another 2 minutes down the line.
Look at this for traffic at the bus stop chicane here. Patrick Kolb and the 51 Ferrari of, Nicola Marinangeli. Getting caught up there behind the Street Art Racing Aston Martin.
That's a shame, because he was improving and looked on to challenge the top two at least. So real shame for him.
Conrad Grunwald still improving. Oh, not in the final sector there. That was very much slowed down at the end there. 3 seconds off in the end, but it was 2 green sectors for him.
Given the views, you can't even get trackside. Look at that, absolutely amazing.
Beautiful, absolutely phenomenal. Matteo Cairoli now in the Huber Motorsport Porsche. That's the 992 making its debut in GTOpen this weekend. Goes fastest by just over 1/10 of a second. It's 2:17.072 for Cairoli, who's sharing that car with Antares Au this weekend. And as we mentioned, the debut of the 992, we were going to have 2 of those new Porsches in this race. The second one coming from Grove Racing, with Stephen and Brenton Grove behind the wheel, but that car took a rather nasty whack during testing this week, and they've had to withdraw. So Uber Motorsport now flying the flag solo for the new 992 car, which has had, I don't want to call it a difficult first year of competition, but after everything that happened at Daytona and last weekend at Nürburgring, it's not been a hit right out of the box. But Cairoli here showing a good turn of pace, and he's another 3/10 up on his time through the first sector already, and flashing the lights already for the car that is a little bit on the road. That's the Olymp Ferrari.
Should be okay. Oh,
no, now that was right up, 4 wheels in the air for a second there. Absolutely, my goodness.
Wow. That's would have felt that one.
He's not slowed down. He's still going.
Well, he did take off, quite literally. Yeah. So now he's going to go for it. Lap time will be deleted. Wow. Well, he had nowhere else to go. You know, the door was closing all the time as Palovic, another Pro-Am driver, comes into the top 10 in the number 33, but is beaten immediately by Lewis Proctor. Proctor has come up in the 66 to P9 now. Both of those running in P10. Only lost 1/10 and a half in terms of sectors. Right now, he's seeing traffic and slowing up. So here we go.
Yeah, now here we see again, and bang! Oh, that was well up in the air, more than it ever should have been. But that Olymp Ferrari that was driven by Christian Korzanowski in Q1, a very rapid car in that session, now being driven by Stanislav Jedlinski. And Cairoli, after slowing up in that final sector there, obviously doesn't improve, but now goes for another run. Surprisingly, he could just take off, land, and be used again like a shuttle.
That was fantastic. Wow. We have to go and see Matteo Cairoli and ask him about that later. That was absolutely brilliant.
Yes.
As he comes up through Eau Rouge and Raidillon, and no damage. That didn't really feel it too much, clearly, because he's pushing ever so hard again. Now, we do have improvements coming in once again from Pavlovic, the only real driver within that top 10 to be improving. And a decent first sector coming in from him. I'm just looking for drivers that are out of place, Chris. We've got Marin Angeli way down the field. Maximilian Paul is back out and is about to do another time. Now, where is he? He is just making his way, trying to pick him up. He might have even come up to the line just now. Did he move up the order? I think we did see an improvement from him.
Meanwhile, Cairoli...
Not yet, he's not hit the line yet, but I think he's very close to it.
Meanwhile, Cairoli further improving 3/10 up in the first sector. This time, no slow-moving Ferrari for him at Pouhon. But just talking of drivers out of position, actually, Axel Jeffrey in P31, currently now in the pit lane as well. And you're right, Marcos Seeber as well, actually. So, but still 10 minutes remaining in the session, plenty of time to get a lap in. We will stay focused on Matteo Cairoli, the Porsche young professional, a World Endurance race winner with Porsche, a Nürburgring 24-hour race winner with Porsche. His credentials are so impressive. The list goes on and on of the things he's done with such an iconic brand. And pairing up with Antares Au, the Hong Kong racer for this weekend, a familiar face in Carrera Cup Asia, and and in recent years the Dubai and Spa 24-hour as well, so this could well be a sign of things to come for later in the year. But Qualy now drives towards the line and lowers the benchmark even further. We've got our first sub-2:17 lap.
Wow, there we go, fantastic stuff. And Marinangeli is back out on the circuit, getting his car up to speed. He is on his out lap, so we'll see what he can do. The number 20's in pit lane, so we're waiting for that to come out. But Marcos Seibert has just done a personal best first sector. I think a driver that has been suffering with lap time dilutions on all of his flying laps so far, because his best time is, let's see, a 4:40. That's a trip to the pit lane as well, somewhere for Marcos Seibert. But he is now back on the road and flying 39.1 through the first sector. So let's see what that number 17 car can do. It's just coming through Piff-Paff, I am going to say it to you once. Now down to Stavolo, so I'm going to keep an eye on the 17, Chris. Let's see what he does.
Just look at the gap between those two essentially works drivers, Qualy and Haase, to the rest of the field, who are top quality drivers, make no mistake about it, but that's just the difference you get with those works drivers. I think the 8 or so tenths of a second between the top two and the rest of the field, and that is by no means a comment on the quality of likes of Fran Rueda, Sam DeHaan, etc., because they are absolutely rapid. And talking of rapid, Qualy is going even faster, but he's about to hit traffic coming into Stavolo, and those lights are flashing once again.
And Marcos Seibert, when P3 was out of the top 30, but he's now got a good time on the board. Whoa, Qualy. Not for the first time, having to go round the outside and a bit more of some traffic. And he is on fire in this session. But Seibert into the top 3. That's a really good time from him. Good to see Seibert back where he belongs. Fran Rueda in the pits. We'll see what he can do when he comes back out. 7 minutes and 50 seconds still left.
Top 4 at the moment is Porsche, Audi, Mercedes, McLaren. It doesn't get much more diverse than that. Here's that moment again for Qualy. Had to go around the outside of the line speed Porsche and just offline there a little bit, skimmed through the gravel. He's now back in the pits. Here is Christopher Haase in the East Talent Racing Audi that is currently second fastest.
Yeah, I'm building up for another flying lap. Seibert continuing to really push.
We've got another moment at Curve Paul Frere here, this time for the Benaldi Lamborghini, the 33 car of Milos Pavlovic, and that was a bit more dramatic there for the Serbian racer.
Jamie Stanley has had a trip through the pits, but is now looking in good shape on this lap in the number 55. Personal best first sector, personal best second sector. Let's see what the number 55 can do. He's coming down to the chicane as we speak, so we will keep an eye on him. Can he challenge and get into the top 10, possibly knock on the door of the top 5? That's where we've got some pro-ams currently, including Fran Rueda and Matteo Qualy.
So pro-am car currently fastest in this session. And of course, that is, you know, in a normal GTOpen race, you can get a pro-am car on pole because they have pros in their cars, but when we're taking the averages, they'll probably fall down the order a little bit. Here is that number 17 Team Motor Park car that currently leads the championship in essence, with the guys who've scored the most points for Portimao not being a full season entry, so we'll just ignore them basically. Marcos Seibert currently not on a lap time that's going to improve his position, but he'll certainly be hoping for one now. And another Lamborghini going through the gravel at Curve Paul Frere. This time it was the Il Baron Rampante car of Giuseppe Cipriani.
And we did see Jamie Stanley into the top 10 in P7. We are about to see Nicola Marinangeli get out of the top 30. He's coming around the final corner, up to the line, and P10 he goes. And Maximilian Paul is now back out on the circuit. He's come across the line to start a flying lap. So a bit of a glitch on the graphic before, Billy. He is now back out on circuit at 14 minutes He has been since he set a lap. So let's see what he can do this time. They clearly had problems with that car. But just over 14 minutes it took him to start what was his last lap in the pits and back out.
And only 5 minutes remaining on the clock, so a good 2.5 minute out lap. He'll only have 1, 2 if he's lucky flying laps to currently improve his position of 33rd. At the moment, which is not where we're used to seeing Maximilian Paul or indeed the Oregon team. We
don't have to rush to work out the averages there, do we? I mean, a great first session, but it's not been their day so far.
Now Haase has returned the serve of Matteo Cairoli and has put in a fastest first sector. 900ths or so up on Cairoli's time. It's an age-old battle of Porsche versus Audi. How many times have we seen this? And I cannot imagine two better drivers to be having this fight. Although, in the meantime, David Fuminelli and the number 11 Kessel Racing Ferrari has put it second fastest at the moment. And he was on pole. Oh, someone's been off.
Someone's been very wide.
Now, how wide do you have to go there to reach the gravel? Quite a bit, I would say, but Haase, meanwhile, up over the curves at the bus stop chicane, 3.5 tenths up. Did he have to back off for any yellow flags, though, in that final sector? No, he did not. Goes 4 tenths clear of Matteo Cairoli at 2:16.505. And Cairoli's in the pits, so it doesn't look like he's going to be able to return that favour. And it was contact between the Olymp Ferrari, and was that the Benaldi Lamborghini? It was the sister car, the 32. Then both of them going through the gravel there. No wonder there was so much dust.
Wow, you don't see that very often, do you? Contact going in. Right, Maximilian Paul has got a respectable time on the board now, P7. But here's another look at it. Wow.
I mean, they've both done such a good job there to A, keep it pointing in the right direction, and B, out of the barriers. That could have ended in tears.
Oh, as I say, a great rescue for them both, and it's a case of weaving to clear the gravel and then getting back out there again. No choice to come in the pit lane. They simply do not have time.
This is the AM Championship leader at the moment, which is Timo Rumpfkeil, and his teammate Heiko Neumann had the car this morning's session in the 65, and they had a first and a second in the AM category last time out in Portimao. Things going very, very well in Team Motorpark's first proper adventure into GT3 racing. Of course, that team incredibly well known for its success in junior single-seaters, now with a full-on GT factory setup at their base in the Ostschlieben. And here is Fuminelli, now not on a time that's going to improve his position, but he will have one last bite of the cherry with just over 2 minutes remaining in the session. And Fuminelli, his teammate, made his GT3 racing debut last time out in Portimao. Fuminelli, once again, perfect pro partner in a Pro-Am team.
I have to say, the top 10 in this session looks quite different to the top 10 we had in the last one. It's been a real mix in terms of the cars we're seeing coming up. Looking at cars that have been in the top 10 in both sessions, I'm not even sure we have one yet. Maybe the 69 is the only one. Samuel De Haan out there. They were second in Q1. They're in the top 10. But other than that, it is pretty difficult to find another car that has been in the top 10, or is currently in the top 10, across both sessions, Chris.
Yeah, and this is the mix you get with the different drivers, particularly with the Pro-Am runners. We do seem to have more of the pros in for this one in those Pro-Am lineups, which is not helping matters, I'm sure, in terms of shaking up the order. But less than a minute to go in the session. That incident between the Benaldi and the Olymp car at Blanchimont is under investigation, by the way. Now, a team what we've seen less of as well is track limits violations, because we haven't seen that pop up too much. Although, that being said, Timo Rumpfkeil has just had one of his lap times taken away for such a reason. And oh, now this is getting close again. I don't want more drama for the Olymp car. It's already had a very dramatic session. It was going side by side with the Grainstone McLaren through Rivage. Here is Sam Dehaan. Now this car, we think the only one that has been in the top 10 in both sessions, and therefore should be a pretty solid shout for at least a front row start, I'd say, for tomorrow's race. Sam Dehaan currently improving his time, a quarter of a second away from Christopher Hasse's time that currently tops this session. And the Optimum Motorsport McLaren that was on the podium in Portimao. The unenviable combination of Dehaan and Charlie Fagg. Dehaan now a second away from Hasse's time, but he could well still improve. Currently 9th fastest after I think another track limits violation there for one of the cars. Dehaan now coming up to the bus stop chicane. Hopefully that car in front of him doesn't cause him any trouble. Oh, it dives into the pits, although I'm sure that would have caused Dehaan a moment's hesitation there, but drives up towards the line now and goes 6th fastest for the Optimum Motorsport team. And the checkered flag is indeed out. Top 5 are in the pits, so we're not seeing any more times from then. And Dehaan's now across the line. So who else might we see improvements for? Alan Valente seems to be out there on a lap at the moment. A personal best in the first sector. There's the Il Baron Rapante car getting over across the line. And seeing it jump up the timing screen there. Valente's lost time in the middle sector as well, so this maybe won't be an improvement for him. And in fact, he's come into the pits. So it looks like that could well be it, with Christopher Hasse leading the way. Matteo Cairoli, best of the Pro-Am runners, and Conrad Grunwald, top of the Am runners, in 10th overall for the 61 AF Corsa crew. This is the AKM Motorsport Mercedes, which is a new entry for this weekend. Potentially just finishing up a lap here, but as we're seeing more and more cars out across the line or come into the pits, it doesn't look like there's going to be too many changes of position. Maximilian Paul's still out there.
He's just come out, isn't he?
For the Oregon Lamborghini squad, but it doesn't look like he's on a. He definitely isn't on a time that's going to put him any higher up. So yeah, it is Hasse, Cairoli, and Fuminelli, the top 3 in Q2. And I can see Chris furiously trying to work out the averages next to me to determine who we think is going to be on pole position for tomorrow's 2-hour and 20-minute endurance race. And it looks like we have an answer, because we think the 23 East Talent Racing Audi, that work done by Christopher Hasse, doing a very good job, as well as Simon Riker's efforts in Q1, and we think that is going to be the pole time.
Yeah, well, we're looking in the top 10. The 63 car appeared there twice, and that was a 2:18.151. So the average time overall from that was a 2:17.472, and I think it was just how extensively quicker Christopher Hasse was from the likes of Marcos Seibert that should put him on overall pole position.
And he tops Q2 as well, ahead of Matteo Cairoli and David Fuminelli. Marcos Seibert, the championship leader, in 4th fastest, ahead of Fran Rueda. Sam Dehaan in 6th. Then comes Alan Valente and Maximilian Paul, the Oregon team, showing a bit more pace this weekend, ahead of Nicolo Shuro, and then the Am fastest driver, which was Conrad Grunewald. Then comes Mikhail Pitamba, Nicolo Marangeli, Patrick Kolb and Axel Jeffries, Milos Pavlovic, Giorgio Seneghiotto, Timo Rumpf, Philip Barron, Jamie Stanley, and Axel Blom is the top 20. Jens Lieberhauser alongside Giuseppe Cipriani in 21st, and then Emmanuel Tabacci, Marco Porcini, Lewis Proctor, Andres Ludendowski, Marcin Jedlinski, Pietro Perolini, Sandro Muir, Jakob Schell, and Dexter Muller. That is the top 30. And then rounding out the order here is Kiki Sagnana, Pascal Bachmann in the Street Art Racing Aston Martin, Gino Forgione, and Stanislav Jedlinski completes a 34 international GT Open field. And the grid is set for the 2-hour and 20-minute endurance race. All that we have left is to race, and that will be getting underway tomorrow at 12:45 local time. We'll see you then.